full house today, and I'm going to do something a little bit different on today's call as well. Because who was it that asked me about this tracking and the analytics side of understanding your Facebook ad campaigns? So I'm going to take you through the FATC ad account. So the ad account that has all the ads and the funnel for FATC, Facebook ads that convert, the program you're in right now. These are brand new funnels because, believe it or not, we had a funnel for FATC running maybe 5 or 6 months ago, but that was when we were going after business owners, and then we pivoted into actually saying this program actually needs to be a prelude to the academy, so it's actually for Facebook marketers. We didn't have a funnel or any ads running for it during that period of time. But these are brand new funnels, so it's going to be a really good exercise to show you how we would go in there, what we look at, the analytics, how you start to diagnose the funnel, how you diagnose the campaigns, all of this stuff. So, Julian, can you see me okay? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just the screen keeps flashing back and forth. And you see like this kind of green circle with a phone instead of your face sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the number 954. So whoever's logged in through that, I'm not sure who that is joining us on that call. Yeah, that's just Zoom. It'll go between who's talking or making the noise. Okay, so, and I've got a couple people. Jillian, I've got you down. We're looking at a video view campaign. You've got questions around that?
Yeah, I'm not prepared for that right now. Could we
Absolutely.
postpone?
We're going to do it after, I take you through the ad account
Awesome.
training. Debbie, I've got you down as well. Matthew, we're going to do a bit of troubleshooting. Lauren, the currency settings and what we should be using. Kylie Dalton. And then Liron, we will have to do that tomorrow if that's your own funnel. So I'll get Brooke to do that tomorrow. And anyone else, if you want to cover your client stuff or troubleshoot a campaign, let me know in the comments below. So for those of you that are new to this call, both on the Academy side or FATC, iframe forms tracking, yeah, sure thing. So today's call is for the FATC program, so the beginners program, learning the basics around Facebook or getting assistance for your client campaigns, especially if they haven't been working well. Academy students are joining us on this call. So that's why sometimes you get a little bit more advanced questions, but typically today's call is more around basic training, industry updates, and looking at some cool tactics. And then we go into client funnels, campaigns, and reviewing the stuff that you've been doing with campaigns. And then tomorrow's call with the Academy guys, that is where we fully go in with your client stuff with Tom. Okay. Wayne. Okay, cool. So Wayne, I'll pop you down as well. So let's kick this off, guys. And I hope the timing it's really messed us up. Us Kiwis and Australians, the Americans switching their time has like messed everything up. So I hope it didn't confuse everyone because it was like really confusing here for a minute. Okay. But we had to keep it the same time for us because otherwise it would have been so early for the Aussies. So I'm going to screen share. So essentially, yeah, I heard there's like a big blizzard for a lot of you guys. Can you guys see this? I'm just going to mute somebody. Participants. I can hear someone's TV in the background. Okay, perfect. So what I want to do right now, guys, is I want to show you analytics or understanding the analytics of the campaigns that you're running for your clients and how to pull up all of this data and how to look at it and how to digest it and how to understand what you're looking at, because this is a really, really big part about being a Facebook marketer. Yes, rolling out the campaigns is obviously a fundamental part, building the funnel for your clients, building the custom audiences, setting up the pixels, et cetera, et cetera. But equally and possibly even bigger than that is the ability to optimize and test the campaigns that you are rolling out and understand what the data is trying to tell you. So as I mentioned, this is sort of a fresh funnel. As you can see, this ad account has only spent $1,300. I think this has been running since probably 5 days or something like that. So not very long at all. And so I don't think this funnel has been reviewed or diagnosed at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to explain to you how I go into a campaign, a client account, and what I look for to understand if it's working properly or to understand what I need to fix or address in the campaign. So as you can see here, I've got, and you can probably pick this up, right? I've got a top of funnel video views, and this is typically how we like to organize our campaigns. And in fact, I would go, oh, shoot, did I log out of Facebook somewhere? Sorry guys, I need to log into my agency Facebook. Let me log out of here for a minute. Brian, are you emailing me while you're on this call? I just saw your email come through. Multitasking. All right, cool. Sorry about that. So as you can see, this is how we actually organize our client accounts. Any account that we work with, we try to keep it very, very, very clean. So we'll have a funnel. So as you can see here, we've got top of funnel in this particular funnel, which is a video views campaign. The aim of that part of the funnel, and possibly there's a few of you that went through this funnel that ended up purchasing FATC recently in the last sort of week. So maybe you've even been through this funnel and you can relate with this. But at the top of the funnel, we've got a video views campaign. In this campaign, I created a 1-minute video, which I have been trying to send to Kylie, because it's all about business manager. Business manager in under a minute. And then we've got a second video, which is pixels, how to pick up your pixel, or how to pixel tool helper anyways. It's a really short video. The aim of this is that obviously the people that are watching this are beginner Facebook marketers, right? Because someone like an advanced marketer is not going to sit through a video on how to set up a pixel or how to use the pixel tool helper, nor are they going to sit through a video on what business manager is. They already know what that is. So I've got at the top of my funnel a piece of content that is there aimed to segment my audience so that I know that people that watched at least half of this video are beginner Facebook marketers and they're interested in this stuff because they've watched half this video. And then typically, and so this is what I was going to say, is normally I'd even go as far as go middle of funnel so that anyone that goes into this account without needing to look at the Lucidchart funnel understands the funnel based on the campaigns. So we'd have, and then this one would be end, like bottom of funnel. Muscle cars going past. So this, a lot of the times when I go into your accounts, guys, and I'm saying this to you guys because a lot of times I go into your accounts, you've actually got what should be ad sets at the campaign level. So you've gone video views mobile, video views desktop, lead magnet mobile, lead magnet desktop at the campaign level, when really those should be at your ad set level. So campaign level is really your funnel mapped out. Part 1. Part 2, we're sending them to a lead magnet. Part 3, we're going to retarget them. Part 4, we're retargeting people that visited the sales page, et cetera, et cetera. And the campaign objectives. So let's say you're running a conversion campaign. So these are This one, for example, is obviously a conversion campaign. It's tracking the event complete registration versus a lead ad. Well, that needs to actually go into two separate campaigns because it's a different objective. And you can't have those in the same campaign. So this is how clean it should look for you guys at the campaign level. And it will make reporting, it will make analyzing your data so much easier for you guys than if you split out all your ad sets at the campaign level. So I hope this makes sense. Let me know if not, like just sing out because I can't actually see the chat box right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is the first thing I can do is go, okay, top of funnel. And we would have mapped all of this out in Lucid Chart. So we've got the whole funnel mapped out that we would have done with the team. And we have our key KPIs. So we go, these are the metrics you guys as a team need to adhere to. Top of funnel, we're aiming for, you know, a 0.2 cent video view. And we want to have a really nice curve of engagement on our video. So when I go into my campaigns now to understand if this is working well, there's really two metrics I know that I need to look at for my top of the funnel. The first one is how much am I paying for video views and how engaged are my video viewers, meaning how big is my custom audience that I'm building through these videos. If everyone is bouncing off after 2 seconds, then I'm either targeting the wrong people or the piece of content is not appropriate for this audience and I need to roll out a different video. So that's how I need to, that's what I look at there. And then the other piece of data that I look at here is following this, what is the cost per complete registration, which is the second part of my funnel when I'm retargeting these guys. So I'll go into my funnel, top of funnel. And you'll see here, my video views is on average 0.02. This was actually launched 10 days ago. And I've got an audience of around 17,000 that have watched 3 seconds. I can go as far as pull up my performance and clicks. So to see my link clicks and click-through rate and see what impact or how successful the video is at generating links, and it is 0 because there's actually no link in that video at all. It's a pure video. But I can look at my CPM to see how competitive my audience is. So obviously in Australia, my CPM is a lot higher, and this is sort of reflected in my cost per video views. So if I wanted to improve this and drop this down to 0.2, well then I know, okay, what are some ways to drop the CPM? The cost per 1,000 impressions. Well, some ways to drop the CPM is to make sure you have exclusions in your targeting. It's to social proof your ad because Facebook loves engaged pieces of ads. So those are ways to drop the CPM. And I could also split test a different piece of targeting. So let's say I say, well, this is still unacceptable to me. I need to get this down to 0.2. Which is what my team should be doing actually because the KPI should be 0.2. They will split test maybe another piece of, so this is obviously targeting influencers here. They'll split test maybe tools or something else or another influencer and try to roll anything out that gets that 0.2 per second video view. Now, one of the things that we can do here is let me pull up. Okay, so under publishing tools, oh, there's an echo. Can you guys hear me? I think someone's got me like on a phone or something. So under videos, under publishing tools is where I can see the engagement on this video. So think, okay, so here's one of them here. This is the one with the pixel tool helper. And you'll see here, if I go under video average watch time, 7 seconds. This is a, how long is this video? 1 minute 43. You'll see the bell curve. And you'll see that around the 10-second mark, which is where we're retargeting, I've got an audience retention rate of 31%. This curve is very, very normal, but I will say that this is a very, very steep curve. So typically, for a minute video, you typically want to have about a 60% retention rate at the 10-second mark, whereas I've only got 30% at the 10-second mark. So I will go, you know what, my custom audience is going to be pretty small at 10 seconds. I either need to retarget a smaller view, so they watch 3 seconds, or you know, I don't segment it that way, or I test out a different video to see. Let me show you what something else might look like. So this is a very long video, so it's hard to compare because we're already at sort of 10 seconds. So even with this one at 17 seconds, it was more around the 34. So this one had a better, I'm gonna try to find a nice short one. Okay, so this one's obviously a lot more engaging, this piece of content, to the audience that it was targeting. So at around the 10-second mark, it almost had a 93% retention rate. Obviously a much healthier bell curve, meaning that it's going to cost me a lot less to build a really big, engaged, highly segmented custom audience. Typically, we do 10-second retargeting, but you can also do 50%. So people that watched 50%. Now, bear in mind, you guys just saw that bell curve, right? At 50%, you're not going to have a very big audience. However, the quality of that audience is very high, because if someone sticks with you 50%, they were highly, highly engaged in this piece of content. So it depends on how long the video is. If you've got a, you know, 20-minute video, obviously at the 50% mark, you're not going to have a very big custom audience. Versus if it's a 10-second video, yes, you should be retargeting 50%, right? You can't retarget 10% because it's a really short video. So that's something to watch out for. Okay, so that's how I check, you know, so I've got KPIs, I know where I'm supposed to sit top of funnel, and I understand what to look out for. So I'm looking out for video views, and then I also look at how big my audiences in the back end, my custom audiences, are going to be. How effective is this piece of content with the targeting that I'm rolling out? If it's not acceptable, so as you saw, the AU influencers targeting wasn't really where we want it to be. It's not bad, but we want to be at 2 cents. And that's the KPI that the team has. Then the team understands, do we look at how engaging the video is? Okay, it had a very big drop off, so possibly Kat needs to roll out a different piece of content here for this audience. Or, so A, we test out different content, or B, we're going to test out different targeting for the Australian market. So that's how they can start to look at that data to understand how to fix that part of the funnel. If we go to the second part of the funnel, which is this one is a lead magnet, and I think in here we've got the custom audience, and I think there's a cold audience as well. Yeah. So you'll see there's a cold audience of a lookalike AU and a lookalike of US, and I think we were comparing that against the video views to see if it was better off to just roll our lead magnet to a cold audience straight out, or if it was more effective to build the custom audience first and then retarget them. As you can see, the cold audience in many ways is actually, well, for AU anyways, and even US, it's almost cheaper to go straight out to the cold audience with this type of funnel than it is to build the custom audience. So this is the people that viewed our video, right? Now for this campaign, this is a conversion campaign. And the aim of this campaign is to get people to opt into the lead magnet. So we are tracking the event complete registration here. And one of the things that you should be looking at here when you're running conversion campaigns is how effective is my creative to my audience? And then what is the conversion rate of my landing page? Typically, for free opt-ins, webinars, lead magnets, freebies, whatever, the landing page should convert at 20%. That's what you want. So here's how we check that. You're going to pull up performance and clicks in your reporting. And we're going to look at the link clicks. So we've had 427 people click on this ad, click through to the page. Notice we're looking at link clicks and not clicks. This is clicks anywhere on the ad. This is people liking your page or commenting or expanding it to the read more. You don't want to look at this because you didn't send 1,200 people to that landing page. You sent 427. For those of you working out of ClickFunnels, there's massive discrepancies a lot of the times between Facebook and ClickFunnels. It is a ClickFunnels problem. And then what we do is we look at how many registrations did we have. We had 151 people register. So what I do is, I hope this is making sense as well, guys. I feel like I'm getting some blank stares, so please stop me if you feel, where's my calculator? There it is. So 151 divided by 427. The landing page is converting at 35%. Beautiful, beautiful. So the landing page is not the problem. The audience is responding really well to the landing page. The landing page is perfect. So you know right away, I'm not going to touch the landing page. Yes, I could split test that and try to optimize that and bring it to 50%, but it's definitely not part of the funnel that is letting me down. What we could do is though go, okay, well I'm paying $6 for each opt-in. Is that acceptable? For me, in my case, yes, because of the cost of FATC, the ROI is still there for me at this price. However, if your client's offer is $100 or $200, no, you're not going to be breaking even at this price unless they have a back-end offer that's higher ticket, right? So maybe your clients, and this is very common, there's a lot of coaches, if you guys are working with coaches that say, I want $2 webinar registrations, and it's like you're fucking dreaming unless you're in the weight loss space, right? And actually, if you're in weight loss, you will get them at that price, or love. Love, if your coach is selling love or weight loss, they will get webinar registrations that cheap. But for most business coaches, life coaches, webinar registrations are like anywhere from $5 to $15 nowadays. Opt-ins, depending on what kind of opt-in it is, you could be looking at anything from $2 to $15 again. If you're paying $15 for an opt-in and your client is selling something worth $150, they're going to go broke really fast unless there's a back-end offer. So what I can do here is I go, my landing page is great, but maybe I'm not happy with this. How can I drive this cost per lead down? Well, the first thing to look at, guys, is looking at your ad sets, right? So optimize your ad sets. So this is a really common thing a lot of you guys are forgetting to do, is test out different audiences. If you've only rolled out 2 different audiences, you've put all your eggs in one basket and gone, dang, it's costing me $45 per registration or $12 per registration. So you got to split test, first of all, right? Really important. And once you do that, then you can get a better feel of what's working and what's not. Now, one of the things I'm not too happy about here that I've just noticed is reach. We typically don't turn off campaigns until they've reached 5,000 people, because normally that's when it's optimized itself. And there's a couple in here that have been turned off a little bit earlier. So I will ask my team about that. But typically we don't turn these off until a reach of 5,000 when Facebook has optimized. If you are under the hammer with your client and they're very, very like budget conscious, then obviously you need to move a bit faster. In this situation, we're happy to spend the money, see what works, invest in this, because we know It's all learning for us, and we want to make sure we have the best results, optimizations happening. So I look at my ad sets and I go, which ones are giving me the cheapest cost per lead? Well, I've got one here for AU. The obvious thing here is start scaling this one, right? It's giving me opt-ins at $4 a pop. Beautiful. I'm happy with that. I can look at the video views. Did I do one on desktop? Well, there you go. There wasn't even a video views one for desktop. So that's, you know, I might look at this and go, this is not acceptable. Let me roll one out for desktop and see if I can get them cheaper on desktop. Then I look at lookalike US mobile, $8 a lead. I might be okay with that. I might not. Let me look at the data to see how I can optimize this puppy. So I've pulled up my performance and clicks, and let me just hide this because it's getting in the way. And you'll see here, over here, here's the US mobile. Okay, so then I look at this. So first thing I'm going to look at is my CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. How competitive is the audience that I'm going after? If you're going after entrepreneurs, business coaches, it is more expensive because there's a lot of advertisers trying to vie for their attention, right? How many coaches are in your newsfeed every day, guys? So this is very expensive, but it is not uncommon for the audience that we're going after. You'll notice how my custom audience is one of the cheaper ones that we've had as well. Well, aside from right-hand column stuff. Look at this, guys, by the way. Right-hand column. Amazing, eh? Really low click-through rates on right-hand column. Very good for brand awareness and retargeting, and CPM is super nice. So, okay, my CPM is a little bit high. How can I lower a CPM? Well, there's really a couple things you can do if you need to lower a CPM. Make sure you are excluding people at your ad set level. Exclude people that have already opted in. Exclude people that have already visited the landing page or website. Exclude your customers. That is one way to drop the CPM down. Another way is build social proof on your ads. Get lots of comments, likes, and shares on your ads, and that will improve. Facebook loves that. Facebook loves that. So that will improve your CPM. It's going to help you in the auction process against your competitors. Another thing that you can do is split test. Continue to split test the audience with different ad sets. Roll out a different ad set and see if a different targeting can get you a better result. So my CPM is a little bit high, and what I'm going to look at next is my cost per click. Well, this is pretty normal. So $2 is sort of the average. I remember when I first got started out, do you guys know what the average cost per click was on Facebook? It's like 10 cents. And we were ungrateful back then too. We're like, 10 cents, freaking Facebook, take all our money. It's going to be like $4 next year, or $5 next year. It's getting more and more expensive. $2 is very normal for this audience. A cost per click, an average cost per click these days is about $2. So that's normal. But then I go here, the click-through rate on my ads. Aha! So this, especially this one, not good at all. This one's good, AU. And that's why I'm getting some really nice results. Because people, my audience, is clicking through on my ad. So cold audience, you are aiming for 1% click-through rate. Now, again, guys, link click-through rates, not all clicks click-through rates. So these two are very different to these two. So we're looking at clicks to the website, not clicks on the ad. You'll see how this is much, much higher. So this one's good. And so this is a campaign that, we should be scaling. We should be putting more and more budget every day behind it. It's getting us great results. The targeting is spot on. They're responding really well. But the US one is a little bit low. The retargeting one is shocking. Retargeting should be around 2 to 3%. So custom audiences click-through rates should be much, much higher than a cold audience because they know you. They trust, well, to some extent, they trust you a little bit more than if you just kind of came out behind a Starbucks counter one day, right? So that is really, really bad. So what we can do is go in here, and we've got our ad creative in here. And you'll see here, well, damn, this is really low. So this is a custom audience, and we've got a click-through rate of 0.6, which is actually bad for a cold audience. So the team then goes, if we want to drop the cost per registration, which is around $6 at the moment, the data is telling us, don't fix the landing page, don't fix the targeting. The problem is your creative. The data is telling you your creative is not working for this audience, right? So that's how you start to look at the analytics and the data that Facebook is telling you, because it's always telling you what's wrong. It will always tell you blatantly with the data, here's what's wrong. And it's very important for you guys to do that and not just roll out a whole bunch of more campaigns and more landing pages and different opt-ins. First, look at what the data is telling you and fix based on that. So we know right away for this one, if we're not happy with this, well, the obvious one is let's up this click-through rate to 1%, and that will probably drop this to around $3, $4 for us. And then what we can do is, I'm just going to take you through the bottom and then I'll go through the list, guys. I'm not going to take you through the entire funnel. I might actually do a training though on how to set up an online course. I might actually do that because you guys are probably working with quite a few, well, some of you are going to be working with people like that, right? So I'll show you how we set that up anyways. Then bottom of funnel, we have, so this is retargeting the sales page. And then this is retargeting people that opted in. So again, I can click on here. And I have segmented out by 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days. And I've got different events here. So you'll see here, the trigger here is an ad that's advertising a tripwire. And then here we're aiming for purchases. Now this is over lifetime, and very obviously a big problem here is this is not feeding out. So there's a problem here, right? So you're looking at this campaign and going, okay, well, obviously there's a problem with our audience here. So the audience hasn't populated properly. If you're using ClickFunnels, this is a problem we are encountering a lot recently. Really big pain in the ass where the URLs are dynamic in ClickFunnels, and Facebook is having a really hard time creating audiences from it. So that's why Lauren and Casey, I showed you guys how to create those custom events from custom conversions. So there's a problem here that the team needs to address. So it's either A, the audience size is way too small, or B, Facebook has stalled the campaign because it is a part of the engagement part of the algorithm where it is going, I don't think your audience is going to like this, so I'm not going to spend your budget. I'm going to save you the headache. Often that part of the algorithm is very, very buggy. It's the same part of the algorithm that decides which ads it's going to feed budget to within the first sort of 2 to 3 hours. It's very buggy. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. And so what you can do, if you go into your audience tab and you see the audiences have populated, that there's actually enough people in there. So we've got FATC opt-in here. We've got 60 people. So it's very, very small, but it should feed out. And I think there was only 140 opt-ins, right? So it's not a big audience, that's for sure, but it should still be feeding out. There's no excuses for not to feed anything, right? It hasn't even fed reach to any of them. So we go, okay, well, the audiences have populated. We'll double check that that's the audiences we're using in the ad set. And one of the things that we can do here is kick it in the butt by switching it to impressions. And then I'll get the team to monitor that and tomorrow come in and make sure. So when you optimize for impressions, it's one way to kickstart campaigns that have stalled. Notice how we were actually optimizing for link clicks, even though this is a conversion campaign. And where you are doing that because it's a tiny freaking audience. You do not need to optimize for conversions on an audience size of 60 people. You don't need that part of the algorithm to go, which one of these 60 people, because the reality is you're going to hit 60 people in a day with a $5 budget, you know? So you're going to hit everyone anyways. as long as it feeds out. So that's our problem right now, is this funnel has stalled at the retargeting, at the most important place. Our funnel has completely stalled. So we look at our audience first and we change the optimization. So we've got one in the 5 days that has fed. It's fed about, it's targeted about 97 people. And again, what I can do here is pull up my performance and clicks. And I can look at this, and my CPM is really, really high. So I can add exclusions. I can social proof this ad. My cost per click is acceptable. And my click-through rate is really low for a retargeting audience. This is more what we want for a cold audience, not for someone that's been through an entire funnel, right? This should be more like 2 to 3%. So again, my creative needs to be looked at. My creative is not working with this audience. So this is how you start to look at the data to understand what it's actually telling you. Now, to pull up custom events and standard events and custom conversions to report on all of this, guys, here's something really important. Notice here, I'm running a video views campaign, a conversion campaign, a link click campaign, a conversion campaign. This should actually be a link click campaign. So I don't even know why this was set up as a conversion campaign. It shouldn't be a conversion campaign. We don't need OCPM to help us here. It's tiny audiences. But I've got all these different types of campaigns. But I can pull up purchases and event on all of them. Just because I didn't create a conversion campaign doesn't mean I can't see how many people bought from all of these. So this is how you do that. You go into your columns. You'll go customize. I've already got one saved here, but I'm going to show you how we do that first. I'll go customize columns. And if you go under conversions in website, you'll see all your standard events are right here. So if you set up a standard event, you can bring all of these up. So you'll simply tick them. It will start adding them there, and you can move them around. And if you've got custom conversions, as we do here, you can add those as well. And then you can save this as a preset. So you'll maybe say like leads or sales, so that you don't have to keep doing this every single time. And it means that when you go in here, you can simply pull up the reporting on any one of those campaigns that you're doing. So you can see here that we've had 6 people purchase the e-commerce tripwire, and it costs us about $200 per action. The price of the tripwire, I think it's selling for $97, so it's not really doing an ROI, but it's paying for some of the ad spend, right? Which is the purpose of that tripwire. It's to make it a self-liquidating offer where we don't actually pay for ad spend. We've had 2 people buy the Academy that actually went through this funnel, and that cost us that cost us 400, this one, $3. That cost us $400, very good ROI for us there. We've had 12 people buy, this is the $7 tripwire, I think. So you'll see just like even these 2 has paid for our ad spend already. And then in terms of the actual FATC purchases, we've had 3 people at a cost of $400. So the ROI on this funnel is fantastic, even though, now that I'm showing you guys, it's freaking broken. Like the retargeting part is not even working, right? We have paid for the ads, and we are making a very good ROI off this funnel. So this is how you bring up look at the data of a funnel of a client campaign. One last thing I want to show you is what we can see is how long did it take for someone, especially these ones, to buy FATC from when they first clicked that ad and they opted in. Was it the email sequence that triggered that? And obviously, hopefully you're tracking that through your email. So we're very, very archaic. We're still using GetResponse, but if you're brand new, use ActiveCampaign. I would recommend that. It's the best one. Or ClickFunnels has one too. I'm not too familiar with it, but all of these CRM programs that your clients are on, that you're on, you can track this stuff. You can track if someone bought from your email, right? But you can also see that in Facebook and get a good idea of what's happening behind the scenes. So you'll go under your reporting, you'll go customize columns, and then you'll go change attribution window. After clicking the ad, when did the conversion happen? 1 day, 7 days, 28 days. We'll go apply. So those were all views. Interesting. So this is really, really interesting. So there's nothing here because we did click attribution, meaning they clicked on the ad. It didn't happen here. So let me go. So someone basically, what this means, well, it all happened pretty much the day they saw the ad, they purchased it. If you went in here and this was number 1 and this was number 3 and this was a number 7, what it would mean was that one person bought on the first day they saw or clicked on your ad. Then if this was 3, it means that 2 people bought within day 1 and 7. So it took them 7 days to purchase. And if this was 7, it would mean that 5 people bought between day 7 and day 28. So it gives you a really good sense of the conversion window that your client has, right? Are people buying as soon as they see the ad? Or is it a very long conversion window? And I'm actually really surprised by this, guys, because FATC is not cheap, right? So I would have thought my conversion window would have been a lot longer on this. So I think this is only because it's a fresh funnel and there's actually not that much data on it. I think as it starts to season and settle in, you'll see that a lot more will come within the 28 days because it'll be the email or the retargeting sequence that pulls people back in. Obviously, the retargeting is not working in this case, so that's probably why it's all 3 days. And I don't even know if we have an email sequence set up yet. So this is how to look at the data that Facebook is telling you. I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can look at your questions. Take a deep gulp. Beautiful water in a mug. I'm lying, it's vodka. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? How do we determine KPIs? Good question. If you are not sure, ask me. And you'll just come to learn it. As an experienced marketer, you'll start to understand the funnels you're working with your clients, right? And what you should be expecting. If you're not sure, just ask me for now. Go, this is my client, what KPIs should I set? And as you start working more and more with that vertical, you'll just know, right? Because there's so many different KPIs based on the funnel you're working with. It's very, I could build a matrix for it, but it would probably fry my brain and yours. Are videos what you would recommend for top of funnel ads? Absolutely. So 2016, that was like the strategy because Facebook loves video. They're trying to take YouTube and TV advertising down. They just rolled out, someone pointed that out in the ad hacks group where when you start scrolling now in your newsfeed, the video stays put if you're playing it. Like just another thing they're doing to make sure that they're preferring video. They also rolled out in-stream video ads. So now when you're watching videos, you'll see kind of like YouTube. You'll see an interruption of an ad, right, in the video at the beginning. So it is still a very effective thing, but you have to be careful that your video is engaging, right? And it's building you a nice, healthy, fat custom audience of very well segmented people. If you're running a video that has nothing to do with the product or offer, let's say it's like a blooper video, well, that's awesome. Maybe you had really great engagement, but then when you retarget the product, people have no idea what you're advertising to them, right? So you do have to still think strategically about this. Is it the right piece of content? And then also look and test it out. So we tested it out against cold audience, and in reality, our cold audience was even cheaper than our video. So when we get together as a team now in the next powwow, and to be fair to my team, guys, my funnels are always the last on the list. So I'm trying to work on that, but it is like the builder's house is the worst on the block. So my team kind of just goes like, oh yeah, cat's funnel gets pushed down all the time. So I don't even think they've looked at this thing since they launched it. But if we do, me trying to sound really professional when we have a powwow, meaning I'm going to leave this and go, what the fuck is wrong with this campaign? If we do, one of the things we'll have a discussion around is, look, actually cold audience is cheaper. We don't have to pay for video views, and it's converting even cheaper. Scrap the video. But in most cases, it will be cheaper. A custom audience will typically convert better. However, one of the first things that we should test out is drive the click-through rate. The creative was not responding to that custom audience. So we'll test that out first. If we are able to drive that click-through rate up to the 2% mark, 1%, 2% mark we're after, and it still is more expensive than a cold audience, or it's still the same price, then we will probably say, scrap that. Let's just go straight to the cold audience first. And forget about the video at the top of the funnel. So again, you're looking at the data to make that decision. You're not just going, does this feel like this is what I should be doing? 39 messages. Well, coach love. What about a coach who sells loves and weight loss? What? Lauren, I'd buy that. Yeah. Okay, different audiences only after we reach, no, I mean, it depends on the budget you have. So should we split test different audiences only after we reach 5,000 people? No, but if your client or if your budget is $5 a day, you're not going to be able to split test much, right? If your budget is 20 bucks a day, you're not going to be able to split test much. That's 4 ad sets maximum, right? Because you have to spend at least $5 a day on each ad set. If your client is giving you $600 a day, then yeah, split test away, man. Split test lots and lots. In fact, probably use Ad Espresso for that and do massive split testing.